Good evening, good evening. I hope that despite of football and so important day today, you will have time to talk to me, to listen to my little webinar. And my topic today is how to make your first date unforgettable. And welcome. It will be not for long. I'm not going to keep you long, but I would like to give you some advice about this very important meeting in your life. We will start with theory. How important is the first impression? From psychological point of view, there are two first impressions. And if you know how it works, you can improve your appearance and be a better dater. So you can improve not only your dating life, you can improve your interviews, your job interviews, or the other, I would say, networking or other opportunities where you have to introduce yourself to other people for the first time. So importance of the first impression. From psychological point of view, we divide first impression in two parts. Two first impression, not one only. The first impression and second first impression. First impression or are the first seconds you meet for the person and you get the information about this person. It's something like I don't know, the door is opening and red carpet and loud music of the orchestra and lights are only on you. So it's the first impression. And second first impression is the text, content, your presentation, information you tell about yourself to your partner. So two parts. First, seconds, when it automatically works, and second first impression, where it's information you are going to tell people about yourself. And you know what? The problem is that this first impression is more important than the second first. So it means the second first impression will be impacted by the first impression. Example, you enter the restaurant, you remember door open, red carpet, music and lights, all this stuff. And at the same time, you kick the cat or you're talking rude to the, to the waiter. After all this performance, kicking the cat and being rude to the waiter, you tell your date that you love animals and usually you are such a nice person, you are so polite. Even if you believe in your own story yourself, the brain of your date partner will doubt it. Without realizing, the brain will remember the first seconds kicking the cat and being rude to the waiter, and your information, what you will tell about being polite and loving pets, it will be impacted by the first seconds. The same situation, absolutely situation, if you came late to your date, to your first meeting, and after it you tell the date partner that usually you come on time and you're always punctual. So it's the same. Brain remembers that you were not, and the fact you are telling you are, it's something like, I don't believe it. And the first date, first meeting is about this right first impression. It's like job interviews where usually you don't get the second chance to improve or to change something. I always recommend my clients be aware of this. As example, at the moment, people go to the restaurant or to the venue for single party, and for example, with sad faces or not friendly faces, you never know who can look at you out of the fenster, who can look at you out of the car. So you never know. So even couple of 100 meters before the restaurant, you have already to have this friendly face, nice face as a person who is happy to go to the party. Generally, if you can leave a bad impression, if you are in charge in this specific situation, if you feel comfortable and confident in this specific moment. And you feel more comfortable if you're well prepared. So generally, we can say that a good impression on the first date depends on how good you prepared this event. So if you're good prepared, you are prepared. You know what's going on. What kind of things you have to think about when you go for your first date. I hope I talking to men. So if you go to the first date with lady, is it a restaurant or just meeting for a drink? I know that some of my colleagues, some matchmakers, they have in their contracts their rule of 3 dates. It means the first you go as a pre-date, you go for a drink just to get this first impression. You know already better than me. And then if first impression was okay, you promise, you commit to go to 3 more dates. And there is really interesting statistic that sometimes or many times it's really a flash of love and really feelings on the second date. So it means the more time we spend with a partner, the more likely, of course, if you like each other from the first moment, it's more likely that this just being nice to each other will develop to something more. So, okay, first idea, are we going to the restaurant or we're meeting just for a drink? If you're meeting just for a drink, think about what pub, what restaurant, what coffee shop. It can be, I don't know, some happy hour for students, cocktail happy hour for students, and you hope to spend your romantic date with a nice woman, but instead you get full pub full of people who are drunk just because cocktails cost less. Or maybe you decided to go to the coffee shop, but at the same time it's something like hour for young moms with their babies. It's not their best situation for your first date. So it's really planning to think about which place, what time, what location, what is going on in this specific place. If it's a restaurant, what cuisine? Does she like meat? Is she vegetarian? Does she like Asian food? Or maybe she's really more this bio stuff. It depends on what she eats. You have to choose the place because, if it's a steak restaurant and she's vegetarian, it will not fit well. Um, you can have a look how it if you don't know this place well, at least online the photos of this venue, how it looks inside, because sometimes in some restaurants the tables are very small and very close to each other. Maybe it's not so comfortable for you to have your first romantic date if there are so many people around you. Very important point: if you decided to go to the restaurant is, where are we going to meet, inside or outside? Once I had situation where he was waiting outside at minus 20 degrees. Yeah, just imagine, he was waiting outside by minus 20 degrees, and she was waiting inside. She sent him SMS and WhatsApp messages, but because of expensive roaming, he turned off his smartphone and he didn't get any messages from her. And just imagine, 40 minutes, 40 cold minutes he was waiting outside. He stayed outside and froze. So better. If it's first date and you don't know this restaurant very well, discuss: are we meeting outside and next to the post box, or maybe we meet inside next to the bar? Very important question at all first dates, because everybody is nervous and you don't know what can you discuss at the first date. What are you talking about? If you had a previous correspondence, and for example, she said she likes Italy, you can start or ask, oh, you told me that you like Italy. What is your favorite place? Something, some information about you from the previous correspondence, and you can return to this topic and and ask once again. You are listening to her story without interrupting. You are listening, really active listening. For example, about Milan, and saying, I like Milan too, especially this old square next to this museum. So it's something like your connection to Milan. And in this moment, if you speak about the same, you visited the same museum, or you visited the same place, and you get the same um, experience about something, you feel closer. And of course, the goal of the first date to find out if we have something in common and discuss these common things. Um, Generally, I can say there is nothing complicated in good communication. You're listening, active listening, you comment nicely, and ask something based on information you got. So you listen and you find something to ask about. She tells you something, you find some connection to the things she told you, and probably ask the next question. Important, of course, it's very important. It's friendly listening and polite asking. Even if you don't like this girl, even you feel no chemistry at all, or even you think it's wasted time, still friendly listening and polite asking. Look into her eyes. Don't touch your smartphone. This time you spend only with your date. I know it's sometimes difficult if you don't like the person really, and if you are disappointed about this difference photos and reality, but it's something like you have to go through. In the end of the date, you pay the bill. Even if she's a very emancipated woman, you still insist of paying the bill. I read a couple of days ago one article about that men, they don't have to pay the first bill or the bill for the first date because of this high living cost now. Don't listen to such advice. You insist, you offer it. If she's very emancipated and if she says, I'm paying my bill myself, okay, let her do it. But generally, you are a gentleman and you pay the bill for the first date. Ask her on the end of the date, ask her how she's going to get home. Maybe you can help her with taxi, or maybe you can give her a lift. It depends on. So you are responsible for her secure coming home because you are a gentleman. If you like this girl after the first date, ask about the time for the second meeting, for the second date. And please, if you are a lucky one, and if she said yes, I would like to meet you as well, don't forget about communication, even just written communication between first and second meeting, because sometimes or quite often women complain that men are very active in real meetings and don't pay attention between the meetings. What can you do? What can you do before the date? Because we speak about planning and we speak about right first impression. What can you do before you go into the date? Better, as I said, check the restaurant, the menu, if it fits to your expectation, to your pocket, not only your expectation to food, but pocket, your money, and if it's a good place, if your girl can achieve this place very quick, no troubles, light tables, so all this how this restaurant is designed. Think about what are you wearing. Think in advance. I always recommend no new shoes and better not no new clothes, because you have to feel comfortable, and sometimes new clothes, it's not very nice to wear and you will not feel well if you feel not comfortable. If you are going to refresh your haircut, better don't do it. But if you do, go to the hairdresser, otherwise you might get not very nice surprise, and you will not look like you would not like you would like. Think about how you're going to get to the meeting place. Are you going to drive? Is there a car park nearby? Or you're going to take the train? Maybe there are delays, maybe there are strikes. So think about this way. How are you going to get to the restaurant? And probably the most important advice, don't try to plan it very hard. Don't try the questions you might ask. Don't overplan, I would say. Don't overplan. And try, even if it's difficult, don't be nervous. Just imagine it's not the first day and you have not impressed anybody. It's like a first date with your classmates you haven't seen for many years, and you're just meeting the people you know already. So it's like friendly conversation, no obligation. You don't have to be Mr. Womanizer. She doesn't have to be Mrs. Model or Miss Universe, or maybe you dream about. So just enjoy every moment, enjoy conversation, and even you didn't like the girl, there is always interesting to communicate to different people. Okay, so it was a little video about first date. If you have any question, if you need any help with your first date, with your second date, if you generally need any help with your dating life, I am Ksenia Droben. You can see my name on the screen. I am Ksenia Droben. I am an international matchmaker. I've been in this job for 24 years. I really like my profession, and I like to help people to find their life and help them to sort out wrong people out of their life. In our matchmaking agency, we are very successful. In the last 7 months, we had 12 weddings, 2 babies, and 1 baby is on the way. So if you want to join our wedding collection, our photo wedding collection, you're welcome to contact me, and I will be more than happy to help you. Or if you have any single friends, you can send all to me, and I will be happy to help them. I wish you a good evening. I hope that football today will be very nice. I would like Morocco to win, but we'll see. I wish you a good evening and hope we see each other soon, or you'll call me. Have a nice evening.